Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is part 2 of the MCQ series of the chapter Acellular Life. And in my previous video, we have discussed few important MCQs that were the part of past papers of NUMS, AKU, Mdcat, and a lot of other resources as well. मैं बता दूँ हम लोग इस सीरीज़ के अंदर बेसिकली पूरे चैप्टर के बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स और बेसिक पॉइंट्स को डिस्कस करते हैं, जिससे हमारा पूरे चैप्टर का रिवीजन भी हो जाए एंड पूरा चैप्टर के MCQs जितने भी होते हैं वो कवर हो जाए. सो लेट्स जस्ट गेट स्टार्टेड विद द पार्ट 2. सबसे पहले तो हमारे पास ये है कि डिपेंड करता है अब एज बी डिस्कस्ड की क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ वायरस भी. ठीक है, देयर आर सेवरल कैटेगरी जिस पे वायरस की क्लासिफिकेशन हुई भी है. ठीक है, अब वन ऑफ देम इज़ कि उनके शेप के बेसिस पे भी. ठीक है, अपना शेप के बेसिस पे इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट बिकॉज पूछा जाता है. फॉर एग्जांपल देयर वाज एन MCQs के TMV का जो शेप है वो कैसा होता है. सो लेट्स जस्ट डिस्कस ये बेसिक पॉइंट जिस पे अक्सर आपने अगर देखा हो कि किप्स के MCQs अगर आपने सॉल्व किए हो तो उसमें भी MCQs इस तरीके के आ रहे होते हैं. ठीक है, अब लेट्स डिस्कस ये. फर्स्ट ये है कि हेलिकल शेप किसका होता है. तो वी हैव TMV हैज़ द हेलिकल शेप. ठीक है, देन वी हैव पॉलीहेड्रॉन शेप किसका होता है. दैट इज़ अडीनो वायरस. स्फेरिकल शेप किसका होता है. दैट इज़ ऑफ कॉलीफ्लावर मोज़ैक वायरस. ओके, सर्कुलर किसका होता है. दैट इज़ HIV का. ठीक है, देन वी हैव ए टेडपोल शेप किसका होता है. टेडपोल शेप किसका होता है. दैट इज बैक्टीरियोफेज. ओके, so these were some common shapes और उनकी examples, and it's important to note all these examples because they could be asked in terms of MCQs किसी भी पेपर के अंदर. ठीक है, I hope this is clear. आगे बात करते हैं हम ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ जीनोम की. ठीक है, जीनोम की अगर हम बात करें. ठीक है, अब जीनोम वी हैव DNA और either RNA. RNA is like DNA. They are further divided. Single-stranded DNA or double-stranded DNA or single-stranded RNA. Single strand भी with stranded positive sense or negative sense. Double-stranded RNA. So these are basically classification according to the genome, and we have to basically understand or we have to memorize all the examples because these all examples could be asked in terms of MCQs. So let's just get started on this because this is really an important topic, and if you look into the past paper, so you will find out the related MCQs is. So the first example is that if you look into the example of double-stranded DNA. The example is herpes virus. Take it there. Okay, the example is herpes virus. Then we have single-stranded DNA, and the example is parvovirus, right? Then we have double-stranded RNA, right? And the example is reovirus. Then we have single-strand RNA. And that too positive sense, right? The example is coronavirus. Then we have dengue virus, and we have hepatitis C. So these all are single-stranded RNA positive. One more thing I would like to mention, that these all examples are mentioned in your SIN book, so it's important to learn all of them in order to correct the Mdcat. Then we have double-stranded RNA. Single-stranded RNA, but this time negative strand. Alright, so the basically the example would be rhabdovirus. And there's another example, paramyxovirus. Now, do you know paramyxovirus also causes a disease which is known as measles and mumps? Alright, okay, there's some MCQs that, let me discuss it here. The inflammation of mumps. The inflammation of parotid gland. Okay, if you don't know about parotid gland, the parotid gland is one of the glands of salivary. It's one of the salivary glands. So it basically inflammation is known as mumps, right? And it is caused by paramyxovirus, right? So these paramyxovirus and rhabdovirus are single-stranded, negative-stranded viruses. Okay, if you know the difference between positive strand and negative strand, if you know, please comment down. The basic difference is between this positive RNA is 5 prime to 3 prime, and these negative RNAs are 3 prime to 5 prime, right? These are basically the basic difference between negative stranded and positive strand, right? And this was one of the MCQs that has been asked in the MCQs in past papers. Alright, then we have some other. Okay, if we talk about HIV, right? I hope everyone knows about HIV. HIV is a virus, right? Human immunovirus, right? If I'm not wrong, it causes a disease which is known as AIDS. And once in the Dow MCQ, it's asked what is the AIDS, right? And what is the D in AIDS? So it's acquired immunodeficiency virus. So D is for deficiency, right? And once it was asked in Dow MCQs, right? So how difficult the MCQs was. Again, the HIV basically, it attacks on which cells? It attacks on helper T cells. Why? Because helper T cells are also known as, or we say they have a sequence of genes on themselves which helps recognize the pathogen that is known as CD4, right? CD4, this is important. Basically the CD4 is important. They basically attack, the HIV attacks on T helper cells. Okay, if we talk about the treatment of HIV, okay, there are three stages of HIV as well, right? Those are not really important, but I would say if we talk about the treatment of HIV, okay, there is no permanent treatment of HIV, but there are some drugs which are used. For example, Truvada. Truvada is one of the drugs which is used for the treatment of HIV. So basically, they do not destroy this particular virus, but what they do is that they decrease the effect. And there are other drugs as well that are used in this therapy, or that are known as Descovy, right? Two are Descovy and Locovia. These are the three. These are three basically the drugs that are used. On the other side, okay, one more thing that I want to mention here, that this HIV is a retrovirus. If you know the meaning of retrovirus means they do the process of reverse transcription. If you know the concept of transcription and translation, the conversion of DNA into RNA is known as transcription, right? But the conversion of RNA into protein is known as translation. But when we convert DNA into RNA, it is known as reverse transcription, right? And the process of reverse transcription, is done in the case of HIV, and that's why HIV is known as retrovirus. Alright, so I believe these all MCQs are clear to you, and if you have any kind of curious, you could just ask me in the comment section, and I would be really glad to answer you guys